Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this week. Pretty big week this week, 9 comics. 8 were on my pull list, and I pulled one off the shelf. But let's start out with the 2 top of my printer museum comics this week. I got Avengers 141, and a Gil Kane cover, which I thought it was, but this isn't like your typical Gil Kane cover. There's kind of like the figure work looks a little different, and it's got John Romita on the inks. And I always think of John Romita inks as kind of lighter than this, but he was actually a pretty heavy inker. I don't know why I still think of his inks as light, but so this is sort of a different looking Gil Kane cover with all the figures facing off. Classic figures facing off cover, and this is a Meridian, a cross-gen. I'm not sure. I should have looked up who did because the interior art is by Derek Aucoin, but he was like the fill-in guy on Meridian. I think Steve McNiven may have been the regular guy, so I'm not sure if this is a Steve McNiven cover or a Derek Aucoin cover. But I like it. It's kind of interesting sitting there all week too, because it's got this kind of bright spot there with dark all around. So it's weird how this bright spot like stands out as it's been sitting on top of my printer all week. But I always love this classic face-off cover too. Face-off covers are such fun. But there's my 2 top of the printer comics for the week, an indie book and a Marvel book. Let's see, we got a comic shop news also. It's like Elvira in Horrorland. Let's see, who did this cover? SC? I don't know who SC is. Elvira really gets into horror films in new series, Elvira in Horrorland. I haven't read many Elvira comics. I have a couple of. I have a few Elvira comics from when Bob Wyacek used to ink it. He gave me a few extra copies he had lying around, so I know I've got those, but I haven't read a ton of Elvira. The rest of this lets us know what's coming out. The Red K Readers Awards. We'll have to see what those are. The Vanishing Valiant Award. The Everything Plus the Kitchen Sink Award. That goes to the Aliens Omnibus. The Only Thing Consistent is Inconsistency Award. Marvel Comics ad placement. The Buck Stops Here Award. Marvel's True Believers and DC's Dollar Comics. I assume that's because they stopped making them, but that's always fun stuff to read. Let's see what comics we got this week. Get Ready to Get Wrecked. Impossible Jones versus the Homewrecker. I don't know if this is the last issue or not. Let's flip. I saw at the end it said definitely not the end, so I think this is the end. At least of this series. So Impossible Jones has been fun. Sort of a fun superhero book. Got sort of a silver Bronze Age sensibility with humor in it. It's like I said, the art I can best compare to Mike Allred, Jaime Hernandez. That looks like Jaime Hernandez right there, that face. Good stuff, fun book. Not the greatest thing in the world, but a good solid read, and the art is very pretty to look at. There's Homewrecker versus Impossible Jones. And she can kind of stretch like Plastic Man or some such. So I've enjoyed it. Not definitely the end. Maybe definitely the end. Who knows? Like I said, I think that was a Kickstarter book too. So maybe they're going to Kickstarter more stuff. Then we've got What's the Furthest Place from Here? Issue 5. This one has been fun. As our gang of teenagers who have never seen an adult in their life because they live in this world where all the adults were wiped out somehow. We really don't have a backstory to it. But then they lost their home, and they've been there's some violence in there. And she bites an ear. As they've been trying to find kind of their place in the world, they've been wandering around, kind of visiting all the other different gangs of kids that live in this city they're in, and for some reason they're not allowed to go too far outside the city or something bad will happen to them. But nice artwork, some good storytelling. Is this Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg? It says storytelling. I think Matthew Rosenberg is the artist, but I've enjoyed this series since the beginning. The first 2 issues were really big, too, so you really got a big chunk. This is feeling like a normal-sized issue now, but good stuff. Let's see, what else do we have? Time Before Time, issue number 11. And this series has just gotten better since it's gone along. This, issue 11, is this our second or third story arc? Because I think there was this might be our second story arc. Or our third, I can't remember. I've been enjoying this story arc a whole lot. Our character here this takes place where there's time travel going on, and 2 criminal syndicates run time travel, and they're both from different times. And this guy, our lead character, has been trying to escape. And you become like, when you work for the syndicate, the time travel syndicate, it's like working for a crime family. You can't get out. And this guy's been trying to get out this whole thing, and he was trying to escape through time, and they're following after him, and just everybody wants a piece of time travel who finds out about it. So working for time travel has not worked out for this guy. And he's had a partner who's an FBI agent, or some kind of agent from I forget which time period she's from. But what happens is people pay the criminals, if they have to escape whatever their situation is, to bring them to the past or something. So they bring these people to the past, and her family, some of them went to the past, but she had to stay behind. Now she's grown up, and she wants to find her family. So that's been interesting. Usagi Yojimbo number 27, A Ghost Story. I wonder if this is a done in one, since it doesn't say part whatever. Usagi's always good. It's in color now. It's been in color for 27 issues. Love Usagi. Been singing its praises since 1986. I buy the color reprints, even though I have the originals in black and white. So I love Usagi. Every week here is the meeting of the Usagi Yojimbo fan club. So dig that. And another one that I think has gotten better over time is the Silver Coin. Last issue, I think, was a bit of a clunker for me, but that's okay, because what it is Silver Coin is a story. It's Michael Walsh telling horror stories. Oh, I think he's writing this one too. Yeah, he's writing this one. Usually there's a different writer every issue. This is the first issue he's writing his own. And I really like his art. I really like his storytelling. And most of the time the stories are good. They revolve around this silver coin is only like an excuse, kind of. Some guys get this silver coin and it's evil and it makes bad things happen in their life. So the silver coin is an excuse to tell horror stories. Matter of fact, the last issue, which I didn't like as much, like the silver coin barely came into play. It was a story about like a corrupt cop and bad things happen to him. And it's like, we expect bad things to happen to a corrupt cop in a story. So it's not that unusual. Didn't need a silver coin for that. But I think it's gotten better over the issues, so I'm really enjoying it. What else do we have? Oh, this is one I put the first issue on my pull list. I'll see how it is if I put other ones. This is Slumber. Something about a girl who polices dreams, but I liked this cover. I saw this cover in a preview. Like every week I get a final order cutoff email from my comic shop, and I can click on any book I want to look at the cover of and add it to my pull list or not. I can add like the series to my pull list or just the issue. So this one I added just the issue. If I like the first issue, I'll add the series. Oh, one other series I just added to my pull list this week was Image Comics is coming out with an anthology comic. I think it's 12 issues, $6 an issue or something. So I think it's like 48 pages. But I put that on my pull list sight unseen just because I haven't read an anthology comic in so long. I will check that one out. But who does this one? Writer Tyler Burton Smith. Illustrator Vanessa Cardinal, colorist Simon Robbins, and letterer and designer Steve Wands. Okay, so I guess Vanessa Cardinal also did this cover since it's the main one. But like I said, I liked that cover, so I was like, I'll check that out. What else do we got here? Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, number 5. I wonder if this one wraps up with number 5. Let's see if I can sneak a peek. It ended with the phrase, "That's just how it goes." I'm not sure if that didn't say the end or not, so I'm not sure if there's another issue of this or not. Christopher Cantwell, Luca Casalanguida. A story about guys who get caught up in the Oswald conspiracy back in I can't remember what year Kennedy was assassinated. 63? Back in 63. So I've enjoyed this one. These sort of marginal, low-life people get caught up in the Kennedy assassination planning and all of a sudden realize they're expendable too. So it's been a fun story. Homesick Pilot, number 13. This one's been fun. We've had our nice scary cover. In the last couple of issues, we've had the nice scary insides. Oh, there's the haunted toilet seat. That's what they're trying to objects can get haunted in this story. So that's a haunted toilet seat that they're trying to find because now we've got the giant mech that's powered by ghosts and a haunted house that can move that's powered by ghosts fighting each other up and down the west coast of the USA. So now they're trying to find the haunted toilet seat so that the haunted house can win because this haunted mech is out of control. So that's what there's lots of ghost stuff, scary ghost stuff going on in this. And there's all the bands that started out being about these sort of punk bands in a haunted house and it's turned into this crazy mech versus haunted house giant monster fight. So I've been enjoying that one. And the last thing I picked up, just on a whim because I saw it there. This is from Image Comics. It was $10. Habitat. You see, it might be closer to European graphic album size. There we go. I don't know how many pages this is. Feels like about 48 to 60 pages. It's tough to tell because it's see if they're page numbers. No page numbers, but it's also square bound, and it looks pretty cool. It looks sort of like a European graphic album. I have no idea what it's about. I just flipped through it and said, I think it's a one-shot done in one. It's sort of like a European graphic album, which I want more of. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy this one. What does it say here? It's by Simon Roy. I don't even know who Simon Roy is, but it says, this'll tell me. Simon Roy is one of the consummate science fiction graphic novelists of our time, and he's been a well-kept secret too long. In Habitat, he mixes 50 years of sci-fi into something bleeding edge, and it's beautiful, and everybody should read it. That's from Warren Ellis, author of Gun Machine, Transmetropolitan Planetary. I know who Warren Ellis is. So. Then down here we have John Arcudi, author of Rumble, BRD, and a Godsome. I know John Arcudi is. He's been a writer for a long time. Simon Roy's Habitat is one of the most deeply involving and, more importantly, rewarding reads of the year. It's got a little science fiction category on it, so I figured I'd give this a read. Oh, nice. Nice opening splash page there. But, this caught my eye. Oh, this is the second printing, March 2017. I don't know where this just showed up on my comic shop shelf, but it's the second printing from March 2017. You got me. Why 5 years later this showed up on my comic shop shelf, but I'll give it a read. All right, let me show you a little bit of my artwork that I got done this week. I was working on my Gatsby project again, and this is sort of flashback Daisy Buchanan, back when she was a teenager. So this is just kind of here's the ink drawing of it. I'm just working on whatever illustrations come to mind for Gatsby, because I'm going to have to figure it all out later on in the year after I've got a bunch of illustrations done. Here's the color version of it. I actually used a lot of texture in this color version too. This is computer colored. So I colored this all in Photoshop and then made this printout of it. So, and it's funny, I did this one last week and I still haven't colored it. But for some reason, after doing this one, I was like, ooh, I just felt like diving into the color on it. That's the way it is when I'm doing it willing. Oh, I think did I ink that this week? I don't think I showed you this weird one, that Dreams of Things cover that I inked. The person's face peeking out down there. Otherwise, it's a person's body. Like there's the arm over on the other side, and all the scenes are kind of on her body or his body. And then there's the only face is that little person peeking out down there. So that's a little different from, once again, when I don't draw faces on stuff, it's a little different for me. But there you go. Little color Teenage Daisy. Little black and white Teenage Daisy. And you guys have a good week out there.